Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Janae Evans, and we are back again with another episode of the Truth About Alopecia. Again, guys, this is the series where we are breaking down, uncovering, digging up any truth that old girl alopecia is hiding and has been just laying dormant, around in our families, in our lives personally. If you or someone else is dealing with the issue of alopecia, listen, let's take care of a little business before we get into the discussion. Go ahead and like this video. Do that first. If you like the content, if you know it's helpful, if you know it's beneficial content, come on and like the video. Listen, and then go ahead and subscribe if you hadn't done so already. Come on and join the family, and come on and join this experience over here on the Janae Evans YouTube channel. Absolutely. And then listen again, as I stated earlier, if you or somebody else is dealing with the issue of alopecia, listen, stop being stingy and go ahead on and share this video with somebody who dealing with alopecia, so we can learn the truth about alopecia together. So in this episode of The Truth About Alopecia, we're going to dive into some more causes of hair loss, which is called alopecia. And again, there are various types of alopecia. In the last episode, we talked about the genetic alopecia, where that's irreversible, but there are some things you can do to slow down its progression and maximize the potential of your hair growth. So all is not lost with genetic, or it's called androgenic alopecia. And today we're going to dive into a few more types of alopecia, and describe what's going on, what they entail, and again, just uncovering the truth about alopecia together. So listen, I'm in teaching mode. I got my graphics and everything. Listen, if your attention span is short, go ahead on and get your fidget spinner real quick. Go ahead on and get your stress ball so it can help you focus, so we can learn the truth about alopecia together today. So listen, without further delay, we're going to go ahead and talk about alopecia areata. Okay, so we talked about her before in a couple of episodes before, but alopecia areata is again, it's an autoimmune disease. Basically, that's what alopecia is. It's an autoimmune disease that causes the immune system to attack hair follicles, resulting in bald patches. Let me show you. It results in bald patches, and they range from large to small. Okay, here's another graphic where you can see where there is some alopecia going on here as well. And in some cases, it may lead to total hair loss. And in addition to losing hair on the scalp, with alopecia areata, some people may lose hair on their eyebrows, or either they may lose their eye parts of eyelashes, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, or in other parts of their body. Okay, so alopecia areata is when you are experiencing hair loss in patches, okay, on your body or in your head. Okay, and then alopecia universalis, that is another unlikely form of alopecia where it causes complete and total hair loss over your scalp and your entire body. So with alopecia universalis, there is no hair growing anywhere. So in this graphic, it shows someone with just short hair, but with alopecia universalis, just like with, you can see, the body form here, there is no hair anywhere over the entire body. And the exact cause of alopecia universalis is actually unknown. Doctors believe that there are a number of factors that could increase the risk of this type of hair loss. And then alopecia universalis is also part of the autoimmune disease family, where it causes the body to attack its own cells. And listen, with this autoimmune disease, guys, the immune system looks at your hair follicles as an invader, and then it begins to attack the hair follicles as a defense mechanism, which triggers hair loss. Okay, so that's alopecia universalis, when you are experiencing hair loss over the entire body. Then another type of hair loss is anagen effluvium. Okay, anagen effluvium is another type of hair loss that is rapid. This is usually caused by like radiation type treatments, um, or chemotherapy, and after time the hair usually will grow back. So that's anagen effluvium. That's a rapid hair loss that takes place suddenly, and it's usually the result of radiation or chemotherapy. And then we have telogen effluvium. Telogen effluvium is a sudden hair loss that results from emotional stress, physical shock, or trauma. Listen, let me tell you something. If you around here stressing out, and you around here, there's some traumatic events that's taking place in your life, and then there are some, or even possibly a serious illness, and it can result in a type of hair loss that's called telogen effluvium. And this is when your hair is when you're losing your hair because of traumatic events. Again, traumatic events, extreme stress, or illness. Okay, it can also happen because of hormonal changes, like those that happen in pregnancy, childbirth, menopause. Other potential causes of telogen effluvium could be malnutrition. Okay, we talked about that in our previous episode, where you have got to pay attention to these warning signs that your body is giving you. And we have got to be okay with practicing a healthy lifestyle. Malnutrition is the lack of proper nutrition caused by not having enough to eat, not having enough of the right things, or being unable to use the food that you eat, for your enable for your body's inability to utilize the food that you eat. That's malnutrition. Another type of another issue that may cause telogen effluvium, and that's when you experience that sudden hair loss due to stress, or a traumatic event, is certain type of endocrine disorders. And those are like medical conditions where the endocrine system, which produces our hormones, they are not functioning correctly. Okay, so it's going to be your female hormones, those hormones in your thyroid, those type of issues. They could cause hair loss as well. Listen, also starting and stopping birth control can also result in hair loss. Listen, you never know, how our body reacts to certain medications. So that's why it's so important that we are mindful of what's going into our body, the effects that it can have, on our body. Because then when these things start happening, like hair loss, you won't be surprised, you won't be in shock, and then you won't be stressed out, causing it to even progress because you don't know what's happening, when you're taking different medications. So these are, again, just several types of things that could cause hair loss. And then here are just a few medications that could also cause hair loss. So if you ladies or gentlemen, if you are taking certain any types of these medications that I'm about to name, they could be some of the causes of your hair loss. Anticoagulants. Okay, these are medicines that help prevent blood clots. Okay, um, anticonvulsants. These are medications that help normalize the way impulses travel along the nervous cells, which help prevent or treat seizures. So again, these are medications that I'm naming that could possibly cause hair loss. So if you're taking any type of these medications and you are experiencing hair loss, this may be the cause. Oral retinoids. This is a class of medications that are derivatives of vitamin A, which are used to decrease inflammation in the skin. So these are your inflammatory medicines. Okay. Beta blockers, any class of drugs that prevent the stimulation of the adrenergic receptors responsible for the increase of cardiac action. So this is a type of heart medication. If you are experiencing hair loss, then some of these medications that I just named could be the cause as to why you are experiencing a type of alopecia. Thyroid medications, mainly used to treat underactive thyroid, known as hyperthyroidism. This is another medication that could be helping or aiding or causing, alopecia. Okay. And the type of hair loss caused by telogen effluvium. This is again a sudden hair loss where it's caused by stress or different types of medication. The type of hair loss caused by telogen effluvium usually gets resolved. Listen, once the underlying cause is addressed. Okay, so with telogen effluvium, the alopecia experienced by this type of alopecia, um, by this type of alopecia, the hair loss that's experienced, it can be reversed once that underlying cause is taken care of. I also want to show you one more type of alopecia, and it's called tinea capitis. I might be saying that wrong, but I want to show you really quick. Tinea, Tinea. Let me spell it because I might be saying it wrong. Tinea capitis. Okay. Tinea capitis, and it's also called ringworm of the scalp. Okay, this type of infection is a fungal infection that affects the scalp and the hair shaft. Okay, so the hair shaft is actually the hair that's hanging from your scalp. Okay, so with this type of ringworm, it causes small bald patches that are scaly and itchy, and over time, their size and patterns could vary and they could increase. Okay, so other symptoms of this type of alopecia or hair loss, or basically hair loss, or brittle hair. This is some symptoms. If you notice that you have that itchy spot in your hair, you got a spot in your hair that's always itching, then this may be tinea capitis. I might be saying it wrong, but that's it right there. Okay, so brittle hair is a symptom. Scalp tenderness, scaly patches of skin that could either look gray or they could look red. So again, if you got an area in your scalp, just one little area that's always itching, it's always, if it just feel kind of rough and patchy, guys, this may be something you could possibly be dealing with. And listen, but here's the thing: this type of hair loss, or this type of alopecia caused by this ringworm of the scalp, it can be treated with an antifungal medication. Okay, and the last type of alopecia I want to tell us about is the traction alopecia. Y'all, this is the alopecia that we cause on ourselves. When you wearing your braids too tight, when your ponytail is too tight, when you are wearing these weaves and the glue is just directly on your scalp, this causes traction alopecia, where something is literally like when you like the traction that takes place when you walk on a carpet, when you slide your feet across a carpet, you feel that friction that takes place. Well, that friction that takes place on that carpet can produce electricity, but in a scalp, when that friction takes place, when that tension takes place, it literally pulls that hair follicle from your scalp. And so this is the result of traction alopecia. When if your hair looks like this, around the perimeter of your head, maybe even further back, y'all, that's a result of too much tension on your hair. That is, and sometimes it can be reversed, with treatments, with lots of care, with making sure that you are just, you know, uh, doing everything you can to moisturize and condition and just treat that area that has been affected by that tension. But I'm going to be honest with you. In most cases of traction alopecia, when that hair follicle has been removed from that scalp, let me show you. When that hair follicle has been removed from that epidermis, which is that outer layer of skin, it normally does not regrow. I'm just gonna be honest with you. In some cases, it does not regrow. Okay, let me show you right here. Okay, so this is the hair follicle. If you look and see, well, let me show you right here. This is again an image of the hair follicle. Okay, that long little tubular figure right here on the right side. And with traction alopecia, when that entire hair follicle can be removed from that epidermis, that top layer of skin, that's this layer of skin right here. Okay, can you see my hand? This is that layer of skin right here. So that'll be your scalp. Okay, so when that hair follicle is removed, this is your hair follicle, and when it's removed from that scalp, most likely another one is not going to grow there. So that's going to be a empty space on your scalp. So let's say if you got a large area that's been affected by too much tension or too much traction in that area, then you're going to have an issue where your scalp will look like, let me show you. I want to show you how it will look with traction alopecia. Okay. That's our ringworm. Okay, so when you got an area, I want to show you on, this is a male head, but do you see the shiny smooth spot at the top of his head? Now this gentleman is dealing with male pattern baldness, so that's the hair is just gone, that it's not growing back because of genetics. But with traction alopecia also, if you've got smooth areas on your scalp, or those little patchy areas where you see smooth then hair, then smooth then hair, then most likely those smooth areas are places where hair has been where the hair follicle has been completely removed, and most likely it's not going to grow back, sis. And that's because we, just being pretty much careless, with how we are, allowing weaves to be put in. Like here's another example, of traction alopecia. Now in this top image, this scalp looks like it may be experiencing female pattern baldness, but this bottom one, it could possibly be traction alopecia as well. Wearing weaves, too tight, or putting too much tension on the hair. And if you got smooth spots and then you have spots where there is hair, most likely those smooth spots, ladies, won't experience hair growth there because the hair follicle has completely been removed. So listen, other causes of disease what some other causes of alopecia could be diseases of the scalp, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. I'll come back in another video where we'll actually go into some of the diseases of the scalp, like psoriasis or tinnitus. There are certain diseases of the scalp, that could cause hair loss. But again, we'll go into that video a little bit later. So, um, This concludes this episode of the truth about traction. I'm sorry, the truth about alopecia altogether. Okay, listen, ladies, gentlemen, whoever's listening, please make sure that you are paying attention to the signs and the signals that your body is giving you. And if you are noticing that your hair is falling out, and at any level. Now, again, I showed an image where there is we have typical hair shedding. Here we go. Typical hair shedding, which is the image to the left. If you just see, a few strings or less, in your brush or like that, then that's typical, because every day we experience about 50 to 100. We lose about 100, 50 to 100 hairs a day. But if you are losing hair in patches like the image to the right, sis, we got a problem. Okay. Pay attention to those signs. Pay attention to your body telling you, I'm too overworked, I'm too stressed. And let's get that taken care of. So listen, in this episode of the truth about alopecia, I wanted to just make sure that I give us some examples of different causes of alopecia, which is hair loss. So thank you so much to everyone who has joined me for this episode. I hope that you got something out of it, and we'll be back again with the remaining episodes, later on, until we finish the series. So listen, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe. I really appreciate the support that you guys are showing. Thank you so much to all my viewers. Listen, please subscribe. If you don't do nothing else, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And until we meet again, I wish you more love. I wish you more light. I wish you more grace. And I wish you more peace, honey. Listen, don't you let nobody take your peace here. Bye.